missing from your life because it's been 8 hours. They're at work. It's got to at least be 24 hours. Oh my God, get on my head. Like, no, like, so if you think that that's you, I really would say, like, talk to them. Have one. Give them one. One, bitch. One. Don't let one turn into 1,000 because then you're going to be out here getting played. Don't do it.
I'm so over it. Don't be texting, don't be calling.
Welcome back to the Ladies Always Win podcast. I am your host, Miss Law. I'm here by myself for another solo dolo episode. I think that this is how the episodes are going to be from now on. So I hope that you guys like the vibe, like the set, the angles, all of those things. Today, I've been wanting to do this episode again. I really have. So the most popular episode of the podcast is about ghosting, oddly enough. It's called The Ghosting Protocol. I will link it, do all of the things. And that episode is like more about what to do if you've been ghosted. So like, boom, you've been ghosted, now what, right? That's kind of the vibes. And the episode is like blew up. It's our most popular episode. The TikToks were going crazy, which made me think a lot of people have been ghosted. And that's... it's traumatizing. And I said it in the other episode. It's traumatizing. And I've been ghosted, unfortunately. That's why I was talking about it numerous times. But I was like, you know what? If this is what the girls need to hear, right? The girls are going through this terrible time of being ghosted. That's what we're going to talk about. So today's episode, okay, is 3 reasons why you're being ghosted. The other episode, again, it's more like, okay, what to do if you've been ghosted. Today, we're going to talk about 3 possibilities, right? Obviously, there could be a million reasons why, but in my experience, it really boils down to one of these 3 things, okay? And we're just going to hop right into it, okay? Because here's the thing, too, is that I feel as though, like, when I was being ghosted, the number one thing I wanted to know was why. Like, I Googled it. I was on YouTube. I just, like, because the way that my brain is, like, I just needed to understand. I needed to understand why this is happening to me. And so I feel like that's a really big thing and a big, I guess, component of being ghosted is, like, really trying to figure out, okay, why is this happening? So that's why I wanted to do this episode. Anyway, into the reasons. Okay, reason number 1 that you might be being ghosted is that they are avoiding something. For me, that was the reason why I was being ghosted every time. And they're either avoiding a conversation with you that they don't want to have, or they're avoiding a feeling that you may cause them. That one, that one's deep, babe. And if that's the one that's happening to you, you're like a light. You're like a special person, right? Because there's something in you, in your spirit, that is really irritating this person in the sense of you are showing them something that they don't want to deal with, right? So the first part that they could be avoiding, it could be a conversation. And this could straight up go from just people are immature and they just don't want to have certain conversations with you. Maybe they don't want to talk to you anymore and they just don't like conflict, right? I don't like conflict, to be honest, but I'll still like, I'll still end something. But yeah, a lot of times they're avoiding a conversation. Some people don't deal well with like other people getting upset. So they might know, oh my God, if I tell this person, oh, I don't want to talk to her, then she's going to be crying and doing all of this. And like a lot of guys, especially, they can't deal with that. They don't want to do that. So yeah, they can be avoiding a conversation, right? Or the second one, they're avoiding a feeling. So this can go 2 ways, okay? The first way is that they're avoiding a feeling that you're causing them in the sense of they're afraid of it, right? So maybe things are going really well with this person. And like, if that is you, I'm so sorry, because that is a really upsetting feeling to like be in something with someone like so truly and so deeply, and it's like so real, and then them just drop off the face of the earth. Again, that comes from, right? If that is the case and you guys are doing super well and this person like really likes you, like that they like you, things are going good, whatever, they're probably afraid, right? If they're starting to realize, and I think guys especially, like they just deal and they process with their emotions so much differently than girls, that if this guy is like really, really starting to realize, oh my God, like I actually like this girl. A lot of guys, especially younger guys, right? Especially if this is a guy that like hasn't really experienced that, or they haven't like experienced the kind of relationship that you and them have, or a kind of like girl of your caliber, and now it's like, oh my God, they have like real genuine feelings for you. They get scared, and when people get scared, they run away, they avoid. Everything we do as human beings, everything we do as humans, we are normally trying to avoid something. Most of the time it's pain. It's just hardwired into us. We do not want to experience discomfort, okay? It is our nature. We don't want to do it. We don't want to be uncomfortable. We want to constantly stay in a state of like homeostasis. Is that the word? I feel like I remember learning about that in biology. It's like the perfect balance. Maybe that's not the right word. I don't know. Maybe Google it. Put an edit in. I'm not sure. But yeah, as people, as humans, like nobody wants to be uncomfortable. We avoid it at all costs. So if a guy, right, is sitting here and they're really catching feelings for you, they really like you, they might not know how to deal with that. And literally, and it's so ass backwards because it's like, well, if he likes me so much, why isn't he talking to me? And it's because now he has to do the work. Like being in love and all that and like going on dates and catching feelings and catching vibes and Netflix and chilling, that's all cool. But that don't really take no effort. Like that shit's just fun. That's just fun to do. Once like real emotions come into tact and now this person has to realize, oh wow, I actually like you. I see a future with you. That's a really scary feeling to have because when you start to feel that, now you start to realize, oh my God, if I feel this way, I can lose it. And the reason why they ghost you is they're almost like predicting the future, right? Because what happens is, boom, they caught feelings for you. They like you a lot. Now they're scared that because they like you, that it's either going to end or you're going to leave them. So they're like, let me just end it right now. Boom, they ghost you. And that is super, 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 super common. Maybe even half of the ghosting situations. I'm going to give that one at least like 50% as to why most people are ghosting. It has something to do with the avoiding, right? Either they're avoiding the feeling that you're causing them or just a conversation. But I think a lot of the times too, it really, really is you brought out this feeling in them. They can't deal with it. And I would say for those people, if you're listening to this, and I would listen to all the options, right? And if like you come to the conclusion that, okay, I think this one is me. I think this one is my situation. This is my guy. This is what's going on. I would give that guy like a chance, like really talk to him. It's also like an intuitive thing. Females are very intuitive. And when this was going on with me, I knew it was this. Because like, it's obvious. Because again, this one is like, it's just more obvious when like they're ghosting you because they're scared, because they actually like genuinely fuck with you. Like the other reasons that people might ghost you, there's kind of some telltale signs that like they just weren't rocking with you like that. You know what I mean? Like it'll kind of start to develop into like, all right, you start talking less or whatever. But like when someone is afraid, like everything is good, everything checks out, and then boom, they just fucking disappear. Like for real, they're on some like magician, what's going on? Like, bitch, come the fuck back. Like, what's going on? So if you think that that's you, I really would say like talk to them. Have one. Give them one, bitch, one. Don't let one turn into 1,000, because then you're going to be out here getting played. Don't do it. But give them one conversation of just like from your heart. You know what I mean? Because again, if this is you, you're going to know it. You're going to feel it in your gut that they're afraid and they're pulling away. So I would have that conversation with them and say, hey, like, you know, I know what you're doing. I know why you're doing it. Yeah, you're going to fuck them up with that one. You go, oh my God, get on my head. Like, no, like when you really like come to them and you're like, I know why you're doing this. Like, it's going to be a moment. It's going to be a movie, whatever. But yeah, just really have a for real conversation with them. Let them know how you're feeling and just be like, listen, like, it's okay. We can work through this, whatever. But that's reason number one why you might be ghosting, is that they're avoiding something, right? And it could be either a conversation or they're avoiding their feelings. Reason number two why you might be being ghosted is that you're not actually being ghosted. A lot of people like misconstrued ghosting. They could actually really just be busy, right? Like ghosting is different than like poor communication or like slow texting back. Ghosting is like a straight up, you are gone. You are missing. You are just non-existent, vaporized. No call, no text for days on end, right? Like I would say it has to at least be like let 24 hours go by. Like it's the same thing. Like, you know how you can't report a missing person until I think 24 hours? You can't report ghosting also until 24 hours, because they're not missing. If the police don't even consider them missing, bitch, they can't be missing from your life yet. They're not missing from your life because it's been 8 hours. They're at work. It's got to at least be 24 hours to be ghosting. And then the next morning, if you don't have a story as to what happened and why you went missing, now it's ghosting. This is me interrupting myself because I wanted to let you know that I just dropped a brand new song and video called Switch It Up. It is out right now on all DSPs. The video is on YouTube. All the links will be down below. If you're looking for a new song, you feel me, to put on like your summer vibes playlist, this is it. So make sure that after this episode, or literally right now, that you guys go down there, check it out, add it to a playlist, and tag me on Instagram in a little video, you know, if you're listening to it. But let's get back into the episode. Maybe they're not ghosting you. Maybe they're really busy. So you gotta like sit down and realize am I just being dramatic? Like really be real with yourself of like, maybe I'm not being ghosted. Like if they're just taking like long to text you back, 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, it's not really ghosting. It's just poor communication, or again, they could just be busy. That really depends on, it's like, it's a very situational basis. And I'm always going to say to listen to your intuition. The woman's intuition is a true gift from God. Because again, you'll know. And I think that like, it's up to you to kind of know and to like internally feel why they're not texting you back fast, right? And that's going to kind of help you to realize, are you being ghosted, or is this person just being like busy, right? A big thing is if someone is going, let's say 4 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, whatever, right? Past 12, it's like, bitch, the fuck? I mean, unless you have that kind of work schedule. But after that period of time, when they do return and when they do text you back, this is the key. How they text you back after X amount of hours lets you know if they genuinely were busy or if they just don't give a fuck, right? If they were busy and they care and they're interested, they're going to tell you, oh, hey, sorry, I was just, I had so much going on at work, yada, yada, yada. And maybe they'll start telling you what was going on. Or it's just going to be a dry response back to what you said. If you're out here like going hours not texting me and then you're coming back into the conversation with no explanation as to like where you were or what you were doing, again, and it's not like you have to tell me what was going on in the last hour, right? You probably were sitting doing whatever that you were doing. But it's like anyone who's genuinely interested in you, and let's say cannot text you a lot, when they do text you, you're going to feel like, oh, okay, like they care. Like they're going to let you know what's going on in their day, how they feel. It's just about like what they're saying to you and how they're saying it. Not so much about the frequency. The frequency is important, 1,000%. The frequency and the consistency is important. But if this is just a busy person and you know this, like you know the kind of job they have, then it's like, all right, you can't count that because you know they're busy. Now it's about what do they say when they do text you. So that's like another little thing. But yeah, girl, maybe you're not being ghosted after all. Maybe, just wait on it. Just wait on it. And the third reason why you could be getting ghosted is that they don't like you. They don't like you. And that sucks to hear. And here's the thing, babe. Just because someone doesn't like you, like, doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. I think that, like, we as, especially females, like, we have this thing that's like, if this person doesn't like me, it just must mean that I'm unlikable. It just means nobody's gonna like me. It means that I'm not dope. Like, if this person doesn't think I'm pretty, then that means I'm ugly. Like, no, that's one person's opinion, and it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. So it's definitely a possibility that they just don't fuck with you, and that's why they're ghosting you. And because here's the thing, if somebody wants to talk to you, they will, right? Our other point about even the consistency and the frequency, the communication, whatever, if they want to talk to you, they're going to. Even if it's not a lot, they're still going to. And if someone is just completely not speaking to you, they have completely gone ghost, they're not fucking with it. They don't like you. And again, this one I think is really hard to come to conclusions with, because this is the one that hurts your ego. Like, this is the one that like nobody wants it to be. Everyone's praying for it to be anything else, but they don't fuck with you. But maybe they really don't fuck with you. Like, it's an option. It's here, babe. We gotta talk about it. But normally, if it is this one, again, there are some kind of telltale signs leading up to the straight up ghosting. Most of the time when someone ghosts you because they don't like you, you can kind of see it coming. Like, when you guys are texting, they'll get dry. They'll start texting you like really like long. Like, again, like their actions, right? Because you have to believe actions and not words. Their actions are going to show you, you can't like me if you are not putting any effort or energy into spending time with me or communicating with me in any way. Because when we like things, we want to spend time with them. So if this person is not doing those things, then they don't like you. Period, point blank, period. And again, you're going to have to go back through them text, right? Scroll back and just try to see, like, really take yourself out of it, take your ego out of it, and try to analyze it from a third party perspective, right? So go through the text messages and just try to see, can you see any signs of like, oh, well, a couple of days before he ghosted me, like he was only texting me like twice a day, or like, whatever signs, or, oh, he did, you know what I mean? Like, if you really go back and you try to look, you'll probably find something that'll let you know, okay, it was this one. This is why I was ghosted. He doesn't fuck with me. But here's the thing, babe. if he doesn't like you and he ghosted you, he did you a favor. He did you a favor by ghosting you if he doesn't like you, because you would have been in a relationship with a man who doesn't even like you. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? And you know what's crazy? You probably would have let it happen. You probably would have let it happen. So this guy leaving you, this guy ghosting, this person ghosting you was actually a blessing, because God knew, he knew that you weren't going to end it for whatever reason, right? So God was like, you know what? I'm going to just have him be rid of her. I've always had this analogy about like when someone doesn't like you, and how just because someone doesn't like you doesn't mean that anything's wrong with you, okay? Let's say there's a bakery, and let's say that this bakery has an award-winning chocolate cake. It is in every magazine, every blog. People are flying out of the country, into the country to try this chocolate cake. It is amazing. Anyone who has it and eats it is like, yo, never had a chocolate cake better than this chocolate cake. Now, there are still going to be people who don't like chocolate, right? I know people, and a lot of people think they're weirdos, but there are just people who don't fuck with it. They don't like it. No matter how good it is, they just don't like that thing. The cake is still this beautiful award-winning cake. The cake is still so marvelous and so special, but just because this one person doesn't like it doesn't make the case any less valuable or less special or take away any of its notoriety. It's just that specific person just doesn't like this thing. That's it. So when someone ghosts you, which first of all, you're probably doing a lot better off, because someone who's going to ghost you, you deserve better. You deserve someone who's at least going to have the decency to text you and say, hey, this isn't really working out for me. Not someone who's just going to ghost you and, you know, avoid the situation all in all. That's neither here nor there, because now at this point, you definitely, you know, you deserve better. That person just doesn't like you. Doesn't mean anything about you. You're still dope. You're still beautiful. You still have all these amazing things to offer the world, and you know it, and you know it. This person, unfortunately, they're just missing out. They're just missing out. Like, think about all the people in the world who don't like chocolate. They're missing out. They're missing out. And I'm not like a big chocolate person. Like, I'm not like, you know, whatever. But if you have chocolate and you know about it, you know it's dope. And anyone who doesn't like it, it's like, oh man, this person, they're really, what's wrong with you? And they're over here just like having whatever that they like. So if someone has ghosted you because they just don't like you, honestly, it's a blessing. It's a blessing, because now you're just one step closer to someone who does like you and someone who's not going to ghost you, you know? Yeah. And the thing is too, and I know that like the hardest thing is if you get ghosted and you keep getting ghosted. That's like what makes it like, all right, Law, well, cool. Like he, you know, he doesn't like me, but every guy ghosts me and every guy I talk to doesn't like me. So like that must mean no guys like me. And that's also not true, because at that point, you're the common denominator. And then you have to have a conversation with yourself of, why am I attracting these kinds of guys into my life who are treating me this way? And 9 times out of 10, you're going to find something within yourself and something that you're accepting that you really shouldn't be, as to why you keep seeing the same guy over and over again. You keep seeing your first ex with a different face and name, but it's the same person. It's the same patterns. It's the same attitudes, which that's a whole different episode. We will get into that, of like being the common denominator. But yeah, this episode was about ghosting and why you're being ghosted. And again, if you are being ghosted, trust me, it's okay. If you want to know kind of like what to do when you're being ghosted, definitely go check out the other episode. I will link it. I will do all of the things. But yeah, this is just more so anyone who is being ghosted, to try to give you like a peace of mind and an understanding that it's not your fault. Like, ghosting under no circumstances is your fault. It has everything to do with the other person. And it's just a matter of, again, maybe it's one of these 3 reasons. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's something else. But hopefully listening to this episode and kind of just hearing the reasons why people do this can give you like a little bit more of a peace of mind. Because again, when I was trying to figure out why, I Googled every possible scenario until I figured out why I thought I was being ghosted. And when I found a reason, or like, again, it's not proof, right? You can never prove it, but a reason that I, in my heart, really believed, I felt a lot better. I felt like, okay, I understand why this person's doing this, and, you know, I can kind of like move on and be free of this. So yeah. But yeah, ghosting is like never, ever, 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 ever your fault, because it's not in your control. And when you are being ghosted, the biggest thing to do is to focus on what you can control, because you cannot control if they're going to talk to you. You cannot control if they're going to answer you. You can only control yourself and what you're going to do. So my suggestion would be, keep the chapter closed, do what you got to do, and move on with your life. But if you are listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts, make sure that you leave a review. a little 5-star review. We are doing, a Sephora gift card giveaway when we get to 100 reviews. So make sure that you guys go leave a review. And if you're watching on YouTube, give it a little like, give it a like, give it a share, comment, subscribe, watch another episode. But anyway, that is that. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys next Wednesday.